people need legal. I'm supposed to hit, okay, she just hit it. Good. So guys, welcome to the class. Hopefully you have the forms in front of you. This is a work lab. That means you're gonna work. This is not lecture. So I hope you brought your pens, things to write on. I gave you some forms. So I want to make this as interactive as possible. So if you're on Zoom, please interrupt me. I'm not looking at the chat box all that much. I'd rather you just interrupt and say, hey, Rich, it's okay. Just interrupt me. I'm okay with that. So is everybody okay with that in the world of Zoom?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Interrupt me. It's okay. So just interrupt the class. Say, Rich, I got a question. So there is a definite need. I found through experience, life experiences, the people that did two things had a higher level of success than those other people that didn't do these two things. The first is they have to plan. Success doesn't happen by accident, right? It happens to those people who plan. And the second thing is success happens to those people who implement. One without the other won't work. You can plan all day long. If you don't take any action, you're going to wake up in 30 years older and never achieved anything. And the person who just takes action and doesn't plan usually will make the mistake over the constant mistakes. And not that mistakes are bad. I believe mistakes are a good thing. But if you have put some thought, you put some strategies together, you put some time on the front end, the back end usually becomes easier. It's kind of like the difference between a buyer calls you and you sit down and do a 45-minute to a 60-minute buyer consultation. I guarantee you will show that person less houses before you put them under contract than the person that you just go meet at the house. The person you go meet at the house, you're going to spend, I don't know, 6, 8, 10, 12 hours looking for a house, where the person you do the consultation, once you get in the car and you finish the consultation, you'll probably spend 2 or 3 hours looking for a house. So you've got to have a strategy. You can't just wing it. So one of the things I think, so Keller Williams, these are not forms I came up with. These are all from Keller Williams. I never learned this until I joined Keller Williams in 2008, 14 years ago. So I'm quite familiar with these. And I find that the best way that they work, what I'm about to share with you is not from Keller Williams. That's just me teaching this class for the last 14 years. And so what I ask everybody to do is I want you to spend the next 5 minutes of writing down all of the things that you would like to achieve if you want to do for the next 6 months, by the end of this year, or if you want to do a next rolling 12 months from now until like June 30th of 2023. I'm okay either way if you want to do 6 months or 12 months, but put down on your paper, a blank piece of paper, all of the things that you want to achieve. So I'm going to give you some suggestions. How much money do you want to save? You want to buy investment properties? How much money do you want to make? How many listings do you want to take? Do you want to buy a souped up Lamborghini or a Bentley convertible? I don't know, whatever it is you want. Are you looking at buying investment real estate? Are you looking at buying a new building or buying a new primary residence? Are you looking at starting a college tuition fund for your kids or grandkids? Are you looking to buy a beachside condo? Are you looking to buy a boat, ATVs, jet skis, motorcycle, toys? I'm talking to the guys. Guys like toys. Of women, do you like, my wife, big arts and crafter? Oh my God, like she has to have her own room for arts and crafts, right? So what is it that you want to accomplish in the next 12 months or 6 months? Now make this list and use your imagination. There should be at least 10 things on there. So if you don't have 10 things down, then you're not thinking hard enough. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. It's 2:05 and 2:10. Remember, whatever you put on your list is correct for you. It has nothing to do with me. Maybe you want to start a team, a real estate team. Just keep using your pen. Just keep writing, guys. Anybody on Zoom, if you have any questions, just once again, just interrupt and talk to me. I'll be checking the chat room from time to time, but as you notice, I kind of walk around the room a lot. If you don't have the forms, Heather's just uploaded them on the chat site. You can see where the forms are on Zoom. So this form that you're doing right now is not a form that you fill out. It's just a blank piece of paper. What I do promise you is by the end of today, when you leave here, you will not only have an action plan, you will have it time blocked in your planner. You're going to have a business plan and bullet point. You're going to have a 135, which is going to be, should be taped to your computer wherever you work. So it's in front of you. You're looking at it every day. You're going to have time blocking every day of the week for certain activities, which we're going to figure out what they are right now. When you leave here, you will have accomplished a lot. Shout out to all the peeps in Spring Hill in the new training room. I'm hoping you're loving the new training room out there, guys.
Yeah, it is pretty nice.
Yeah, you would think in 6 months they can do a little bit more than paint the wall, though. It's taking a little long. I apologize for that. Two more minutes, guys. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to speak up. Don't worry about it. You're never going to embarrass me or hurt my feelings. Just whatever it is, just ask. Come on in. So do we have more of those
You
forms?
are out of this one, and you have one left of the other two.
Here you go, Russ. This is the last copy for just you.
Rich, which forms do you need? I'll print you some more.
The 411 with the two double-sided.
Okay,
We're out of all of them right now.
okay, I'll bring some more.
That's the angel over my shoulder. So if you didn't know that was Heather, she's everywhere, guys. No, thank you. In case anybody else walks in, we do. Right now, we do.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah.
What's up, JP? We got Mount Dora's in the house. What's up, buddy? We have people from all over. So guys, so you should have a big list of things that you want to accomplish this year. Money saved, investment properties, listings, units closed, pendings, right? Volume. There's so many things that we can focus on. What we really need to do, and I think the challenge is getting people to focus on which is the most important. Because one of the things I do every day in my staff meetings is I go around the room with all the staff members and I say, okay, so what's the most important thing that you need to accomplish today? We don't talk about their to-do list. I only talk about what's their one thing. And then I ask them, okay, now that you've identified it, do you need help accomplishing that or achieving that one thing? Because when you get people who prioritize their activities, and instead of a should, like a to-do list, you have a should do or need to do list, all of a sudden people become more productive. So that's exactly what we're doing here. But how do we decide which one of those things on your list is more important than the others? I'm going to give you an example. So let's say on this is how I did mine years ago, and I still do it. Let's say if I said, I want to close 100 units. Let's say I want to make $1 million in commissions in GCI, right? Let's say that I want to close $35 million. Let's say that I want to buy a beachside condo. I'm actually looking into right now buying a Airbnb rental. I've never done that. I have a bunch of investment property, but none of them are short term. I'm thinking about doing an Airbnb. So let's say we put all of these things on my list and I have all of the, let's throw in some other real things. I want to lose 30 pounds. That's real, right? So we put all of these things down. So the question I always ask myself is the same question. Take one of the goals I just said, losing 30 pounds. By achieving this goal, how many other goals on this list by achieving this one goal, losing weight, how many other goals would it help me achieve? Will it help me buy a beachside condo? No. Will it help me close 100 units? No, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna. Will it help me make $1 million in commissions? I'm positive it's not gonna help. So when I go through that list, yes.
So it's going to help you close more because you're going to have a higher energy level. How about that?
It's possible, but it's not a direct. It could be an intangible what you're speaking about. There's no tangible evidence that that's going to hold true.
Just speaking for myself.
More dash, lighter on my feet, and maybe it gets the business, possibly, but not likely. Thanks for the vote of confidence, though. So when we do this, I'm going to say how many other goals by achieving this one goal, how many other goals does it help me achieve? And the example I gave you, it's a 0. So the priority level of that goal is a 0. It doesn't mean it's not important. It's not the most important thing. If I say by buying a beachside condo, will that help me close 100 units? No, probably not. Is it going to help me make $1 million? Probably not. Is it going to help me do 35 months? Probably not. Is it going to help me lose 30 pounds? Well, maybe if the elevator's out and I have to climb up to the 23rd floor, right? So, but the answer is, again, probably 0 value. It's not a priority. What if I were to say making $1 million a year? How many other goals? Would it help me buy a Lamborghini? Possibly. Will it help me buy a beachside condo? Probably. Do you understand that some goals you have down are more important? So if you have 10 or 15 goals down there, you want to find out which one, by achieving that one, will take out half your list. So you focus on one and it's going to take out 7 or 8. You don't have to look at 15 individual goals. You're just going to focus on one. And by achieving that one, it's going to take out a majority of the rest. So you need to go ask that question and go down your entire list. Take the top goal and say, by achieving this goal, how many other goals on my list will it help me achieve? And put a score next to it. And when you come up with the goal on your list that helps you achieve the most, that's your number one priority. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that now. Does anybody have questions on Zoom or help on what we're doing now? This is a working lab. That means you're doing some work today.
Is that on for you?
We got Katie Spire's team in the house over there. Hey, Katie, how are you?
Good. We're happy to be here.
Okay. Appreciate you guys showing up today.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
In case you want to know what growth looks like, Katie, when did you join Kelly? Probably 3 years ago, 3.5.
Yeah, November 2018.
3.5 years ago, fair enough. And what was your business? What was your volume of units like when you joined?
When I came, I would say it was about 15 to 18 a year in units.
Units, okay. And so how many units did you close last year?
128.
Okay, and what are you on pace to close this year?
172.
Love you.
Love you.
How do you argue with those numbers? She's learning based. She comes to classes, she's coaching, she does whatever she has to do, bold, she does all of that. All of the things your friends are telling you it's a waste of time. Don't listen to your friends. Remember, don't listen to people who haven't made it. If they haven't made it big, stop listening to them. You're being influenced by the wrong people. Be influenced by the people who've already made it. So you should be going through your list, give it another 2 minutes, prioritizing to find out which of the goals you chose is more important. Because by achieving that one goal, it's going to knock out 5, 6, 7, 8 other goals. Now, guys, is this something you can do with your relationship at home? If you're married, significant other, can you do this with your children? Can you teach your children? Can you do this for health? If you want to have it's called the 135, a GPS. Can we do this for health? Can you have one for business? Could you have one for finance? Could you have one for just for profit share? If you did a 135 for everything you did in life, I guarantee you in 12 months, you have a different life. You'll look more like Bill Gates than whoever it is you are. You'll become more successful, I promise you. All right, so did they come up with their number one priority? Okay, now you're looking at the 135. We're working on this form right here. Working on this form. And at the top, it says 2022 planning 135. The one main business objective goal for the year goes on the top line. Put it right on the top. Now you've decided, I didn't tell you what to put there, right? I just gave you instructions. So I'd like to just take a moment and go around. Let's hear 4 or 5 people what your number one thing is. Who wants to volunteer? Yes.
It's 100 homes.
List 100 homes. Great.
Close 80 units?
Close 80 units. What's yours?
GCI 120 for Lexus.
Close 120. Adam, what's yours?
Well, mine's till the end of the year. Get 15 more listings.
15 more listings. On Zoom, what are some of the goals that you're putting up as your number one?
Mine would be, I want financial freedom for myself and my family to allow me to take care of a lot of things I want on my list, like buy investment properties, rentals, pay off mortgage early, grow my client base. I've only been with the company a week, so I'm learning.
Too long, Mark. We got to get you to be specific, short. You notice everybody said a number of GCI, number of lists, number of units. So what does that look like to you, financial freedom? Define it.
Oh, gosh, just all I can do. I don't want any limitations.
Okay, so what does that look like?
I'm not sure.
Spend a little more time. You got to, because think of your brain as the world's largest Google search engine. And everything you're articulating and saying out loud, your brain is hearing it. And your brain is going to help you find ways to find it. But if you're not specific with your brain, how many times have you gone on the internet, hit the search button, and you got the wheel of death, and it just spins around? That's what happens to our brains when we don't give it specific information or data. And so we kind of wake up 10 years later in the same spot we were because we weren't specific. So if you want to achieve anything, whether it's running in marathons or fitness or wealth or finance, you must be specific. Helps a little bit with you. You've got to be specific with your one goal, because until you get the right one goal and be specific, the rest of this exercise isn't going to help too much. Now that you have a specific goal, what are the three strategies that are going to help you? So let's use, Adam, may I use an example?
Yes, sir.
What was your number one goal?
15 listings.
So Adam wants 15 listings between now and December 31st. Is that correct?
Correct.
So what are three strategies? We're going to help Adam. What are three strategies that, Adam, you come up with one strategy. What would that look like?
To dedicate an hour a day to calling seller lists.
So an hour, what type of seller? Let's be a little more specific.
Like a targeted list, like a distressed list, for example.
So a distress list. So maybe Adam is going to he's going to look at some artificial intelligence companies out there, they're predictive analytics, right? They're predictive, so they can predict within a certainty of like 90%, 85, 90% of everybody who's going to move in a subdivision in the next 12 months. This is real.
Or absentee owners.
Or absentee owners.
With equity.
So that could be one target for Adam. So put that down as a strategy. Now you need to come up with three strategies. Remember what I said though, be specific. The more specific you are, do you have the forms?
Yes.
The more specific you are, the better the results will be, the easier it will get. So I know being specific is challenging now, but the more time you spend now, the easier it is later. I promise you. Just think of that buyer consultation that you skipped to go show a house and you spend 10 hours because he said, well, there's a house in Claremont. Can I see that? Yeah, there's one in St. Pete. Can you show me the one in St. Pete? And I'm not sure St. Augustine, is that, they both have the word Saint in it. Does that mean they're close together? Can we go to St. Augustine? So if you didn't have the buyer consultation, you spent the whole day driving 400 miles and spend $100 in gas on a person that's looking to buy a house in 2026 because they don't retire until then from the fire department up in New York. You're laughing because that happened. That's exactly what happened. Before I understood how people think, you just want to make people happy. And we say yes. And then you find out that I had the same thing with a woman who was looking to buy a house in 2 years for a daughter in the Navy who's in San Diego who won't be here for 2 years after I showed her. So after a while, I learned by experience. I made all those mistakes. These are real stories. I'm not making them up. So I decided I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm actually want to sell real estate. I don't want to show it. I want to sell it. So I became disciplined. So be specific. Each one of you are going to come up with 3 strategies to support your one goal. 3 strategies, be specific. I told you this is a working lab. This is not a lecture. And I know that a lot of you are challenged. You're thinking. There's a lot of thought that's going to go into this, but in the 90 minutes you spend on this, when you leave this class, you will have clarity on what your business and what your life is about to look like. Any questions in the land of Zoom?
No, not yet.
I bet you the person who invented Zoom was thinking about the apocalyptic wars that are coming with zombies and invented this. Now they're a billionaire. Let's take another minute or two, guys. 3 strategies. That's it, just 3 strategies. I promise every one of your goals you have down on that blank piece of paper you started will be somewhere on the next two sheets by the time we end. Everything, no, regardless what category. Couple of you are still writing. I'll give you another 30 seconds. Okay, so I'd like somebody to volunteer to tell me what one goal is and what the three supporting strategies are.
I'll just finish off.
Yeah. Go ahead, Adam. So his number one goal was to get 15 listings between now and the end of the year.
Correct.
Correct. And what are the three strategies? Go for it.
The first one seemed like a good one. Dedicate 1 hour a day to call absentee owners with 30% of equity. I think that would be a good niche. Make 17 database calls a day. I did the math and that'll get through my database one last time. And then send a monthly mailer to a most likely to sell list and ask Magnolia for some help.
There you go. So I love your list. So most likely the mail list would be, you should contact the predictive analytic company. They're everywhere.
We have one in MLS.
Okay.
Mine
Okay.
works pretty well. I've heard it was
Yes.
amazing, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they have predictive analytics in there, wasn't even aware and Remind they had that. So they're targeting and telling you the probability based on that community, how many years it is, how developed it is, how many years the person's been in that household. If the change in their average income went up, they went from 80,000 a year to 160,000 a year, it's very likely they're going to go move and upgrade to the next house. If there's a decrease, they were making 120,000 a year and their income dropped to 70,000, there's a probability that they may be an empty nester. They're going to look to downsize. So they take all the data, they pay for all this data and they figure out who's going to move. And they tell you beyond the certainty within like 90% chance of all the people inside a community who are going to move in the next 12 months. Now, whether you get them as a customer or not is up to you. I'd be in dialogue, I'd be door knocking, I'd be postcards, I'd be calling, emailing, I'd be on that person. If you want to get listings, they're out there. But remember this, guys, don't use the strategy I used the day I got my license. My strategy was I got my license that as soon as I sit down in my office in my real estate company, which wasn't Keller Williams, I thought people were going to line up outside the door because they heard I got a license. That just didn't happen, right? So I realized you can either be a lead receiver or a lead hunter. And I came into the business thinking I was going to be a lead receiver, thinking people were going to come to me. And then I realized nobody knew me in the state of Florida. So who's going to come to me? So I can either stay there and do nothing, or I can go out and I can hunt. And that's what I chose to do. Yes.
I'm sorry, what was the name of that app in MLS?
Remind. Yep. REMIN.
So the predictive analytics. So I love that. So now that you have one goal, whatever you chose, you have three strategies. Now, each strategy, you're going to come up with 5 priorities. Now, so you're going to take, so Adam, we use you as an example. Can we just follow through?
Sure.
So pick one of your strategies.
We'll go with calling the absentee owners.
So absentee owners. So what are 5 priorities for that one thing? Now, guys, this is where it has to be super specific.
You guys don't take my ideas.
So here's,
I'm just playing.
so here's where you need to be super specific. Because when a person says I'm going to lead generate, that's about as vague as it's going to get. So what I'd like to hear is Adam saying he's going to call absentee owners Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm just making up so you don't have to. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from the office, beginning at 9 o'clock and ending at 11 o'clock. I've defined who my target audience is, absentee owners. Where am I calling from? The office. What time will I start? 9 o'clock. What time will I end? 11 o'clock. Is there anything vague about what I just said? I am about as direct could be, because if you want success, you had better learn to be direct. It's when we're vague with ourselves that we wake up in the morning and say, well, you know, your spouse or loved one says, what do you have to do today? And your answer is, I'm not really sure. You should never have that. You should know the day before what you have on the agenda for tomorrow. Why? Because your whole day's been planned months in advance. It's that simple. If you don't have an agenda that's planned out for months in advance, you didn't do this. Because when you leave here today, this will do that for you. So now you're gonna come up, I'm gonna give you like 10 minutes. I want you to come up with 15 priorities, 5 priorities for each strategy. We'll give you a total of 15. And I want you to be specific. Don't say lead gen. Tell me how. Maybe one day a week that lead gen is going to be door knocking. Maybe one of those things is going to be open houses and in the topic of lead gen. Maybe 3 days a week is going to be sphere. Maybe 2 days a week is going to be calling what Adam said, absentee owners. Right? I don't know whatever the topic is, but you have got to be specific. Right? Where are you doing it? If it's lead gen, where are you doing it from? What time do you start? Who's your target audience? What time do you end? If it's fitness, guys, and it's going to the gym, that's, if that's one of your things that's in there, then you had better put down which gym, where are you working out from? Are you working on cardio? Are you working on muscle? Are you lifting weights? 3 days a week is cardio, from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8:45, whatever. Be specific. And I will just tell you on the word of fitness, I don't know how true this is or not. A Thursday night, when I was at the social hour here in Claremont, Dial, who is Bethany's husband, looked to me like he lost a lot of weight. And I said, wow, you look great, man. You lost some weight. You lost your gut. And he says, he doesn't know that he lost so much weight as he lost inches on his gut. And I said, well, how'd you do it? I said, you working out? He said, no. You eating less? He said, no. So, well, what's your secret? You taking some sort of pill? He said, no. So, well, how'd you do it? He says he takes a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar every morning.
Yep.
I don't know what it does. We'll get started on Friday morning. I lost 3 pounds since Friday. I haven't done any exercise. I haven't changed eating. I'm just putting it out there. A tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Once a morning, a tablespoon. From Friday, gonna have to call hospital. I'm ODing on apple cider vinegar. From Friday till this morning, I weighed myself. I'm down 3 pounds. I'm not dieting. I'm not eating smaller portions. I'm not exercising. So I don't know. Maybe there's some truth to what he said. I don't know. Right now, I'm getting the taste of vinegar. It's kind of hard to stomach straight vinegar. It's a little bit strong.
It's the sacrifice that you have to make.
I want to see if it's true. Right now, I got to say it's working. I'm down 3 pounds, so we'll see. I will continue. And if so, we'll make a video on Facebook and then buy stock in like Heinz apple cider vinegar.
Is
What?
that before breakfast, like the first thing in the morning?
Yeah, in the morning. I don't typically eat breakfast. So I wake up, I'll have a nice coffee, but yeah. So as soon as I shower, I'm walking out the door. It's 8 o'clock to come here in the morning. It's right on the counter. Take the spoon out, a tablespoon, not a teaspoon. I'll take it, just swallow it, get it over with, drink some water, iced coffee, go to work. So I don't know where DL is, but he may be like smartest man of the year award. Worked for him. Everybody in the office is going to be drinking apple cider vinegar tomorrow. On every desk.
I have our pores, I have our breath, smelling vinegar everywhere.
So does anybody on Zoom have any questions? Not about apple cider vinegar. I'm talking about their 15 priorities. Hopefully you should still be right. You should have 15. If you don't have 15, you should have a pen in your hand. Remember, the more work you do right now, the easier it will become. So, and again, the purpose of the 135, it is a written bullet point business plan, right? So typically, if it's a business plan, your one goal at top, if we're talking about business, should be business related. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't have weight loss or fitness goals or devotion time. You can have all of these things on your wish list, right? That's that first piece of paper. They could be finance, relationship, date night. I can't stress with you guys enough how important date night is with your loved ones. So I'm just telling you. And I never was really that big on it until I had two of my top agents. And when I was a team leader in Lake Nona, and they lived right down the block from me, like 100 yards from my house. Very good friends of mine. And she was a big REO agent, closing 200 units a year, and her husband was doing probably 15 units a year. And when I asked them about date night, because when you're in REOs, foreclosures, you're working 80 to 100 hours a week. That's realistic. That's real. And I asked them about date night, and both of them looked at me and they didn't know, neither one of them knew what date night was. And they were much younger than me. And about 6 months later, they got divorced. So I can't stress upon you guys enough. You need to have some adult time. That means outside, no kids, nobody screaming, mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy. With a movie theater, restaurant, a bar, I don't care where, a library, I don't care where. You got to have some downtime where you can just have adult talk and conversation. Very important to a relationship. You thought you were coming here for an education today. You didn't realize you were going to get social counseling. I see one or two of you with your pens down, couple more. Keep writing. If you don't have 15, keep pushing yourself. I know it's hard. By the way, when you leave here, you will experience some mental fatigue, I promise you, because I'm forcing you to think outside of the comfort zone right now. Physically, you'll be fine. Mentally, you may need a day to recuperate. Everybody doing well in Zoom? Keep checking in. I want to make sure you guys are good.
Yep.
Fantastic. Thanks, Priscilla, for answering. I love verbal commands. I love that. Right now, Priscilla, you're my favorite. I think the Market Center, there's some individuals, but you can see that's the Inverness Market Center. Where's the Spring Hill? Top right.
Yeah, top right where the yellow shirt is.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's our new training room. It's been under renovation for 6 months. It looks pretty, it's just taking a long time. Guys, Spring Hill, just to let you know, I will be in the office on Wednesday. I have a meeting with Georgia Alpazar. I haven't seen any of the agents or the office in a couple months, so I'm excited.
Except for us.
You'll be there. You'll be there. I'm going to give one more minute, and then I'm going to ask you for some feedback on this, which you put down for some priorities. We're going to ask for somebody else other than Adam to tell me what their strategy was, and then read me their 5 priorities for that one strategy. Okay, we're going to start on Zoom. So who on Zoom would like to volunteer to read me their one strategy, and then one at a time, we'll go through the priorities. Who would like to volunteer? So Courtney, is that you raising your hand or scratching your head? Okay, Courtney's volunteering. Thank you, Courtney. Just so you know, Courtney is fairly new, like real new,
Like young blood?
like young blood, and she's volunteering, so I give you kudos to that. So yeah, Courtney, what was your one strategy? You're on mute? We don't hear you. Do you have any technology issues here going on? Yeah, there's something we don't hear you.
She could chat
Put that in the chat.
You want to put it in the chat, honey? Go ahead, right in the chat. I just noticed Valerie Deneen had a question. Valerie put in, what is the number we put next to the goal? The
How about
number is by achieving that goal, how many other goals will it achieve? This will help you prioritize, Valerie, what your most important goal is. So I don't see anything yet from
How about
Courtney.
Go down.
You have to scroll down, Rich. There.
We had you first, huh?
I don't see anything yet. I believe she just gave me the finger. That's okay.
Drugs.
How about to try to speaking again?
Yeah, we heard that.
Kathy's helping her out. Thank you, Kathy.
I'm going through this one though.
I can hear you now, Courtney.
Oh! You can hear me?
And what is your one strategy?
Okay, so I want to bring in one referral per week.
So the strategy is one referral per week. What are your 5 priorities? Go for it.
So I need to post on all platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Nextdoor, Neighbor, Craigslist, you know, stuff like that. Getting into like social media groups.
Pretty specific. Okay, so what day of the week and what time of the day and from where?
Mondays. Never miss a Monday in the
Okay.
office ever.
Okay.
From 9 a.m. to 11 p.m.
So just so you know, the office is closed on Monday. I don't know if you're aware it's a holiday.
Juneteenth.
It's Juneteenth Day. We're closed. We celebrate. So just so you know, I want you to plan accordingly. The office will not be open. So so what's your next priority?
My next priority would be to send out postcards.
To who?
The neighborhood from our last listings, whatever that we sell. It's just to send out postcards.
And now postcards. What day of the week will that be done on?
Wednesday.
Okay, so that'll be on, so put down Wednesday from the office. What time will it be done?
9 to 11.
What time?
9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
So 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. You're gonna send out postcards. Beautiful. Give me your see, I want you to train yourself to be specific so it gets done. Now go to your third priority.
Okay.
What is that, Courtney?
Okay.
Do you have any others?
No, I'm working
Okay, so
on it now.
Okay, so you got 2. You need to get 5. So you can take this home and finish this at home. I encourage you to get 5 if you want it to work. So I love that. Good job. Does anybody else want to volunteer in the room? One person, Raphael, tell me about your strategy.
All right, so, Adam said 15 listings. I said like at least 15 transactions. So my.
Closings, is that by the end of the year or within the next 12 months? Okay, so for the end, between now and December 31st, Raphael wants 15 closings. Beautiful. Now give me 5 priorities.
Oh, 3, is it 3 strategies?
Where does it start?
It's priorities we're working on. You gave me 1 strategy. Now I want 5 priorities.
That's not no, the strategy would be to be motivated sellers.
Meet motivated sellers. So so give me the priorities now.
So call expires Monday at 12.
Okay, so Monday it's from 12 to what?
12 to 2.
So write down 12 to 2 from where? From the office? From the office, you're gonna call expired listings. I do believe you're gonna start to see more of those in the market that we're heading into, guys. Get ready for it.
Yep.
People overpricing. I notice there's a lot more price drops. You're gonna start to see, there's been, basically the last year and a half, there's been no expireds. I think you're gonna start to see them. So I think that's a great strategy because you're thinking, what Raphael just discussed was he's a strategy for the market we're entering, not a market that we're in. Gary always stresses this. Your strategy should be for the market we're entering, not the market you're in. We're leaving one market, we're going into another market. Love that. Next.
Call for sale by owners.
Okay, what days of the week?
That could be done Tuesdays,
Okay, from what time to what time?
same time, 12 p.m.
From 12 to 2, from where?
to the office.
From the office. Hey, I think that's, there's no, when you write down on Tuesdays from 12 to 2, I'm calling it, for sale by owners from the office, there's no ambiguity. Your brain knows exactly what has to be done. There's no guesswork in this. Love it. What's your next thing, Raphael?
And so in the team that I'm in, we have this thing called a pond. So it's like previous clients, just like a lead list that we've already serviced.
Okay,
Basically, we can go around and call them as long as we haven't contacted them in a while. And just kind of use them as a referral. And just continue.
have a conversation, put people in your pond. What days of the week?
I can do Wednesday. That would be after 2 p.m.
So from 2 to what?
I can do 2 to 4.
So that would be 2 to 4. Beautiful. That's 3 strategies. What's number 4?
Write CMAs for sellers. So like basically, provide value to people. So instead of just like going and saying, hey, I want to sell your home for you, it's like show them I already did homework for them and what their house could be worth for. So I know writing CMAs is like difficult for me. So if I could just master that and get to know it.
There's programs that do that for you. You don't have to do it.
Yeah, but I just want to get better.
Okay, so it's something that'll build your skill set and lead generate at the same time. 2 purposes. Love that. Okay, so who's your target audience? Who are you doing the CMAs for?
For the FSBOs and expireds and.
Okay, so for the people that you targeted, marketed in previous days, now you're going to follow up and do market analysis for them. And are you going to email it to them, call them on that, or what?
I can call them and then if we make a connection, then email them to them. Like, so I
Yeah.
have a value proposition for them.
Beautiful.
If we sell it.
And so, and what days is going to be done?
If I'm calling on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then I can follow up Thursday.
There you go. What time?
Thursday, I could do it earlier. So Thursday, like 11 to 3.
11 to 3, and I'm assuming it's from the office again?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So I think that was 3 or 4. What's your next priority?
Well, it was to use the Remind app. So kind of a combination between the Remind app and the CMAs
Yeah.
to reach out to people who have equity in their homes.
I didn't know that Remind did what you guys,
Does that sell
if I was in production, I would be all over this. That's a gold mine. So what we used to have to pay for back in the day is now free.
Included.
It's free. How much does free cost? $3.99, right? I can't tell you because most people, and the question I will ask you is, many agents see things as either a tool or a task. You get to choose. If you see this as a task, it's just another thing you have to do, you're not going to do it. Let's be real. If you see this as a tool for you to grow and make more money, it will get done. So how you think does matter and will determine what actions you take. I see it as a tool. It's artificial intelligence, predictive analytics that's telling you with the 90% certainty that this person is going to move in the next 12 months. Now, the only question is, are you going to get the deal or somebody else? So you've got maybe 3 months, maybe 11 months, maybe 8 months to build a relationship with a person before they actually sell. And when they say that's within 90% or 87%, whatever number they tell you, what I can tell you is, and maybe they get it wrong, so they move in month 15, but I promise you they're going to move. There's a reason they have them there. The data shows a fluctuation in their income. The amount of time is exceeding the average time in a community. In a community where the average person moves every 7 years, they're there 14. They're telling you there's going to be something life-changing event in this person that at the age of 78, they're going to move.
Excuse me,
Right?
where
Yes.
do we get this? Where do we get this analytics information?
It's part of MLS. It's called Remine, REMINE. It's free to you. It's on your matrix or your MLS.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
does tell you a lot of things. It tells you the equity they could have, in their age, how old they are.
It gives a sales score, it gives all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we never had any of that stuff, man. Wow, they're making life easy for you guys. I love this.
It also ties into DNC list.
Yeah.
So
So what Gabriel's, what they're saying is that, that it ties into the do not call list. So it scrubs the list for you to call. Does it provide phone numbers?
Yes,
if
phone
there's
numbers
a
and
number there,
emails.
it'll either say DNC or like, you can call them.
And if it's DNC, there's no such thing as a do not mail list. It's just do not call, right? You can send mail to anybody you want.
It gives emails as well.
Yeah. Oh my God, I would definitely. Now, I don't know what the law states for spam mail, but if you're sending out one email to one person, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's when you do it in bulk. And again, let me just disclose, I'm not an attorney, so I don't know the law. I need to cover my own rear end. But spam mails means you're sending out in bulk. If you send that out email to a person, I would communicate everything I can. I'd look for next of kin, whatever. So love that. So does everybody understand about being specific? Did I keep drilling down to get you guys to target an audience, a time you start, where it's done from? So you see what was, if I make a generalization, most people are not being specific enough. You have the right concept. You know what you want to do and achieve, but you're not articulating it and writing it down. And therefore your brain doesn't know what to do, so it searches.
It's like a buyer's presentation.
It's like a buyer's presentation. Sometimes we call those a virus presentation, not a buyer's, right? So guys, does it make sense to everybody? Everybody in Zoom, do you understand about being specific and drilling down? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
Don't be
makes sense.
vague. I think that's the big. Now we've got a 135 that's done. Now watch what we're gonna do. Now we're gonna take the 411, this one right here. Here's the camera over here. This is the 411. Now, I don't know why they call it a 411. I think it makes more sense to call it a 114 because you start at the top, which is 1 year. You don't start at the bottom where it's 4 weeks. So we start at the top. Now, what's your one goal from your 135 at the top? That goes to the top of the 411. We're just going to move it over. Easy peasy. My wife says easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, let's say, so Adam said 15 closings between now and the end of the year. So that means he's got 6 months left, right? We're already halfway through June. Let's say 6 months. So now if we divide by 6 months into 15, Adam needs to have 2.5 closings, or let's say 3 in July, 2 in August, 3 in September, 2 in October, 3 in November, 2 in December, right? He gets to decide, or just 2.5. So now your one goal, right? The 1 month is basically your one goal divided by 12 if it's a year goal, divided by 6 if it's to the end of the year goal. Easy? You just gonna fill in one line. The big mess comes at the bottom. This is where the bulk of all your goals are gonna go, at the bottom under the 4 weeks. Now you've got your 1 yearly goal off your 135. We just divided by either 6 months or 12, depending if it's by the end of the year, or if you want to do a rolling 12 months, then we divide by 12. And now you look at the 4 weekly goals. So if we use Adam's example again, and let's say Adam said he wants to have 3 closings in July. 1 week, July, or you go 2.5, if he just went 2.5 for 6 months. So if you have 2.5 listings per month, under the weekly goal, on week 1, he's gonna take a listing.
For appointments.
Well, you can break it down appointments if you know your ratios. If you don't, you just he has to take a listing in week 1. He probably has to take a listing in week 3. and probably a listing in week 4. Or he can do week 1 to week 1, week 1 in week 1, 1 in week 2, 1 in week 3. He can do it any way he wants. But by the end of that 4th week, and sometimes we have 5 weeks, right? Which isn't on here. They only give you 4 categories. So now you've got your one goal by the year or by the 6 months, depending how you did this. You broke it down to a month. Now you got it down to what you're doing for the week. Now's the fun part. Now go back to your priorities, and now you're going to put those tasks, the activities, under the 1 week. So in other words, Adam's going to take 1 listing on week 1 by, what were the 5 strategies he put down? Bam. Those are activities. That goes on week 1. What does he do on week 2? The same strategies as he did on week 1. The same priorities, rather, I'm sorry. So you're going to fill them out, all those activities on week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. The results may vary because it didn't work even in Adam's example. It didn't come out to 4 listings, in which case it would be 1 listing per week, right? So we're going to put 1 listing for 3 weeks to accommodate Adam, but the activities are all the same. So fill that out. Now, since you have 15 priorities, there's a lot of activities down there, guys. So you understand how long your list is when it gets down to the weeks. There's a lot of activities. That's why I said you'll never be at a loss of what you need to do ever again once you finish this class. You'll know exactly what you need to be doing tomorrow morning at 9:12 and 47 seconds, because it's in this plan. You should be busy writing, guys. It's a lot of writing. Remember I told you, the time you put in up front will save you a ton of time later on, I promise. Gabriel is busy. And he's just still on week 1 because he's still writing. You need another piece of paper. I love that. The more you write, the easier your job comes, guys. It becomes very easy the more you keep writing. Yes. So did anybody have a question? On Zoom? We all good so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yes.
still, because if you did this right, you have 15 priorities, or as many priorities as you have should be going down on your 411 at the bottom under each week. And then you're going to keep duplicating week 2, week 3, week 4. Now, guys, here's what I want you to do. Do you remember the wish list in the beginning of the exercise? All those goals to help you decide? Or I told you they were going to go somewhere? Okay, so let's say that I put down, I want to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds. One of the activities that goes on there is to take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar every day. What do you think needs to go on my 411 right now? See, it wasn't important. It didn't make the list to be part of my business plan, but it's certainly going to be on the portion for health on my 411, because what you put down there is probably business. There's business, there's health, there's faith, there's finance. So under the 4 weeks, you have subcategories. Now for health, I'm going to put down, maybe I'm going to walk 2 miles a day, 3 days a week. Under each of the week, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So I have to put it down 4 times. I'm going to put down, I'm going to have a tablespoonful of apple cider vinegar Monday through every day, 7 days a week. First thing in the morning at my house. So I know that it's embedded in my brain what I have to do. Maybe I'm going to put down for faith that I'm going to have some devotion time every morning at 5:30 in the morning. I'm going to have that talk with the man upstairs for 30 minutes from my bed. I'm going to be specific. So all the things that didn't make it into my business plan are going to make it into my 411 at the bottom of activities of things I have to do. Do you understand how long this list of weekly things grows now? You don't just have business things on here, you have everything on here. All of a sudden, you're going to realize that, oh my God, there's not enough hours in the day for me to do all these things. We're going to say that's a limiting belief. There's plenty of time. You just probably need to wake up earlier. Sleep is overrated. That's number 11. Yeah. I'm just being honest. Sleep is overrated. You don't need all that. You think you do. That's a limiting belief in itself. You will function beautifully on 5 hours rest, 6 hours max. Anything over that's a waste of your time.
I agree with you.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, whoever that was. You want me to share my innermost feelings about sleep? I'm 62. Hopefully someday I'll live to be 90. If you slept 8 hours a day and you're 90 years old and you look at it, you say, I've slept for 1/3 of my life. That means I've slept for 30 of the 60 years I'm alive. What would you do to get back some of those years when you're 90? Stop sleeping. You don't need 8 hours a day, because when we're 90 years old, what would you do to get back some of the time that you slept? You don't know what you did, you're sleeping. That's 1/3 of your life. If you're sleeping 8 hours a day, by the time you're 90, you slept for 30 years. You might as well just change your name to Rip Van Winkle. Sleep is overrated. My wife asks me every day, what time did you wake up today? I say 5:30. She says, oh my God, I could never do that. I said, you could. I could just roll you out of the bed. I lift up the sheets, you'll roll. So I'm gonna give it another minute or two for you to finish up. And whatever you don't finish here, I would highly encourage you to finish at home, guys, because this is important. So now let's go over, we're not done, there's one more step. We filled out a 1-3-5. You have a list of, a wish list of things you'd like to accomplish either this year or the next 12 months. You've prioritized that wish list to figure out which is the most important. You've listed that one on the top of the 1-3-5 or the GPS, right? And then you've gotten 3 strategies to support the one goal, and then 5 priorities to support each strategy, giving you a total of 15 priorities. We've taken that prioritized one goal from your 1-3-5 and moved it over to your 4-1-1. We've broken that down by dividing that either in by 6 months, if it's your goals to the end of the year, or by 12 months, if it's a rolling 12 month, to give you the 1 month, right? And then we have 4 weeks. You're going to break down the activities from the priorities and move them over even if they were not business related, you're going back to your wish list, whether it was faith, devotion time, whether it was reading, I want to read one leadership or self-motivation book per month. That makes it right here. You know, you may put down, I need to read 100 pages in week 1 from any non-fictional book. Fiction will kill you guys. Non-fictional, self-help, motivational book, leadership book, wealth building book, right? Maybe you need to put down, I have to read 100 pages a week. Week 1. So by week 4, you've read 400 pages. Pretty much you're reading a book a month, right? If that's what you want to do, if that's part of your, I'm just giving you suggestions. So this doesn't just have business stuff on here. You have everything on here. Now comes the part where most agents fail. Take out your day plan and now time block everything that's on your week. Every activity under the week 1, you need to go and put it on your time block now. Like Raphael was very specific. He said he was going to lead generate from the office on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 12 to 2 for, I don't remember the topics, but now he needs to go in his planner, whether it's digital or paper, doesn't matter. And now you time block Monday from 12 to 2 in the office. I'm calling, I don't remember who it was you said. For sale by owners. Tuesday from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'm going to call expired. Wednesday from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'm going to target whatever he had down as those priorities. Now go and you time block your planner. Now, if you did this right, you have probably 80 different things to do on this piece of paper at the bottom on the 411, because you have devotion time, like I do it at 5:30 in the morning. So I'm going to put it, it's going to go on I'm going to put it in my planner, right? If you're doing exercise, you're going to the gym, you put it in your planner. If you're spending time to bring the kids to school, you're putting it in the planner. Whatever made your list. Now you take these activities, and you're putting them on your planner. Now you look at your planner and you are booked from now to December 31st. You don't ever have to worry about, oh my God, what am I going to do tomorrow? You say, I don't know. I don't have my book. Because your life is planned out. You're being extremely purposeful. And now here's something I will tell you that's really good too. And I learned this I didn't invent these stuff, guys. I learned from other people. You know what R&D stands for, right? That's like research and development. And like the land of real estate, we call that rip off and duplicate, right? Somebody else did it. You just duplicate it. You don't have to worry about it. So I totally forgot where I was going. Yeah, I have no idea. It'll come back to me. See what happens when you hit 60 years old? You forget sometimes. Middle of a thought, you just forget it. So guys, so this is important. You're going to time block it. Oh, I know where I was going. So for me, what as a team leader, my coach taught me, said, okay, so you're going to lead generate from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. You're going to call who, where from, what list, blah, 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 all of this stuff. So now this is the same for you. Doesn't it sound like a real estate agent? You're going to lead generate, same thing as a team leader? Then he said, okay, so when are you having these recruiting appointments? I said, what do you mean? I said, I don't have the appointment yet. He says, oh, you think you need to have an appointment to time block for? He says, what if you were to time block 2 appointments every day? Like Monday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. How about the Monday from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock? Appointment number 1, appointment number 2. Does that sound like you with listing appointments, guys? So why aren't you time blocking in the afternoon? Life happens in the morning. Your most important one thing gets done first thing in the morning, right? In our world, that's lead gen. And in the afternoon, life happens. So what if you put down on Monday at 1 o'clock, listing appointment number 1. On Monday at 3 o'clock, buyer appointment number. You don't need a name. Time block for the appointment. As the appointments get filled, then you put the name and number in there. But if you don't plan for it to happen, I promise you it won't. Time block the appointment before you have the name. You don't need a name and a number. Your job is to lead generate to get that stuff in there. Because if you don't have anything in there, here's what happens. Here's how the mind works, guys. And this is all of us, including myself. If you don't have anything time blocked, you say, well, what do I have to do? I finished my lead gen. I did my follow-up. I did my script and role play. It's 1 o'clock. I don't have anything on my thing. Let me see what Oprah Winfrey's talking about today. Well, that's where your brain goes, guys. It's just natural. Because your brain is not wired to be purposeful unless you program it to be. Your brain is more purposeful to be entrepreneurial, which means it's going to see shiny objects. It's going to chase bunny rabbits. It's going to go down bunny trails. Does everybody get that? And if you don't do it intentionally, you just do it because it's human nature. So if you want to be productive, you must learn to become purposeful. Plan for the appointments before they happen. Time block them for the whole year. Time block your appointments the whole year, even though there's no name and number in there. You should have them color coordinated, time block, and then work to fill them in. Now, what happens if it's 1 o'clock and I don't have an appointment? What should I be doing at 1 o'clock if I plan to have a listing appointment at 1 and I don't have one, I didn't fill it? What should I be doing?
Get back on the phone.
Get back on the phone to make sure my 3 o'clock appointment is filled. So our job, believe it or not, is not to sell real estate. The day you got your license, they should have prepared us and they should have said, our job is to become a professional lead generator, because without the appointment, we have nothing. Every day you go out, do not go out with the intention to sell real estate. Go out with the intention to book appointments. Selling real estate is the easiest thing in the world. We show them a house, they have a need, they have the money, whether it's cash or financing, they love it, they're gonna buy the house. I can't, you know, it boggles my mind when I hear agents go through a house and they say, come on, just take a look. Come on. Oh my God, listen, this is a perfect house for you. I just want you, and this is the kitchen over here. See, this is the stove and this is the refrigerator. Do people need us to show people around? I think you're a great buyer over there. Let's give a round of applause for Gabe. So does everybody understand? We don't sell real estate. Real estate sells itself. We are there to facilitate, to show them, to get past all the objections and problems, the limiting beliefs. I can't tell you how many times when I show a house, here was my routine if I'm on the buy side. So after we look at the house, I have 2 packets. I have my MLS sheet for the broker copy with the commission, all that. I give them a packet that's the copy for the agent copy. I says, now we're going to look at the house. I want you to tell me from 1 to 10. 1 is, don't even show me this house. Don't talk to me about this house. Throw it away. 10 is, let's go back to the office and write up an offer. Where are you right now? Here's what I used to get, 9. That's a sale. And I said, okay, so what would have to happen in order to move you from a 9 to a 10? Here's what I used to hear. Well, if the house wasn't yellow, oh my God, they never heard of this word paint. This is what holds a person back from making an offer. Paint color. Stupid things. It's nothing that here's why you're not hearing it, because you're not asking the right questions.
Yeah.
What would change? Now, if a person says 6, I'm not going to move a person from a 6 to a 10. Okay, so tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what you didn't like about it. Let's go to the next house. They say anything 8 or above, there's a shot I'm writing a deal. 9 or above, I'm writing an offer. That's an offer. It's going to be some silly, well, you know, I just didn't like the way the house was facing north or east or whatever. Color of the paint or the size of the fence, or it didn't have a fence. Okay, put one in. Because people don't know how to think, guys. And it's up to us to teach people. Don't give people credit. They don't know how to think to get what they want. That's what our job is. Gary Keller says this all the time. Our job as a leader is to teach other people how to think so other people can get what they want when they want. And the only way to do that is by asking questions. That's how we teach people that there's new beginnings. So, okay, so you don't like the paint. So if the house were blue or another color, you put an offer. Oh my God, yeah, okay. So do you think you can buy some paint and paint the house afterwards? Or maybe we put it in the offer. How about if how much would it cost to buy paint for the house? I don't know, $1,500. How much would it cost to paint the house? $3,000. Well, what if we put in, what if we just subtracted that now? We make a concession. Is that a possibility? Yeah, sure, I guess, why not? Those are the answers I would get. I think that we just have to keep asking. We have to keep diving when it comes to this.
And they'll thank us for it too.
Yeah, so, and guys, I don't even want to go down that the bunny trail, but the truth of the matter is, the point they're making is you should have all your appointments time blocked in the afternoon and fill in the names and numbers later. And if you did this right, you've got a 135, You've got a 411, and now your entire calendar is filled up for the rest of the year. You will never wake up not knowing what you have to do that day because your whole day is time blocked. Guess what? You're now in real estate. See, that's what a professional real estate agent does. And that's why you see people, you see them on stage, like the Tony Zargamis and everything. When you hear her systems and models and stuff, because this is what we teach in Bold. When I first met her at my first Bold, she's been there 11 times. She's been in my class 3 times. You would say, well, is she a slow learner? I don't think so. If she's learned to go from 0 to 20 million in less than 10 years, 20 million a month, not 20 million, 20 million a month. And she did that in less than 10 years, she's in real estate. I don't think she's smarter than anybody else. Here's what I can tell you. She wants it more than everybody else. She's committed. She's committed to her family. So she's willing to do the things that make her feel uncomfortable so she can get what she wants in life. And for those of you on Zoom, I showed the video. I sent the video, I think, to Jim and Sherry about Tony Zargami's class. She's in Sarasota. She closes $20 million a month. She's going to be teaching her listing presentation here in Claremont. I've got her to drive up here, 3.5 hours. I highly recommend you come here because I do not believe it will be on Zoom. It will be a live class only. It's a listing presentation. The date will be July 6th. It will be in the afternoon. I would time block right now for July 6th in the afternoon. I don't know what time. My guess is 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever. I don't know the exact time of the class. I'm giving you the date, but it's going to be in Claremont. It'll be a live event. And you can get Tony Zargami to drive 3.5 hours to do her listing presentation. She does 20 million a month. You had better be there. Unless you could tell me you're doing more than 20 million a month, you have no reason not to be there. Unless you're on a cruise ship, in which case I'll get the cruise ship to divert, pull in port over here in Cape Canaveral and take an hour drive. Does everybody understand that? So that's part of your time blocking, right? And now that you have that done, let's go one step further. How many people are like me, you take vacations? You need to time block for that now. So I used to wing it, just hear something, what are you doing? Oh, you're going on a cruise, when are you going? On Friday? Okay, I'm in. And I would book on Wednesday for Friday, right? That's how I used to do it. Now I book my vacations pretty much a year in advance. Pretty much a year in advance. Why? Well, that's a good reason. You get discounts, but the truth of the matter is, I have to time block with my schedule because I'm doing so many things. And I have to fit it in. I can't take vacation during mega camp. I certainly could take it the week before. Right? That makes sense to you guys? So I book my vacations. You time block your date time, date night. You time block your family time. If, you know, I know some dads like to take their daughters out date night once a week, once a month. I think that's great. Their moms want to take their sons out, whatever, once a week, once a month. That's great. Get it on the time block. You want to go visit your family? They live in New York City, Puerto Rico, California, Oregon. I think that's great. Put it on the time block. Time block, color coded. I'm going to visit my in-laws. I don't know. You can put that as green is good or red, like like persist at your own hesitation, right? So you can, you know, in-laws, my family, date nights, children, game night. You got little kids, they want to play game night. I think the best board game I can ever teach my kids to play was Monopoly. Because now they're all in real estate. They're buying real estate. That was the bridgeway, the gateway. And people, my kids always, Dad, you buy every property. You don't give us a chance to buy anything. That's the way it is. That's real life. Buy everything. That's reality. That's what I taught my kids. And I'm most proud, my youngest daughter bought her first house just before her 18th birthday. So she was just shy of 18. She's been in there almost 3 years, 2.5, 3 years now. She's 21 now. So guys, I'm just telling you, that happened. There's no doubt in my mind because of Monopoly. Even though she lost every game, no, I didn't let them win. No, I crucified them. They learned. They learned. I was like, look at you, you're like a bloodsucker. You got to win every time. But they're learning valuable lessons.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Time block game night. Time block it. Have that fun with your kids or grandchildren. niece and nephew, whatever. But everything should be, and when you time block everything, all of a sudden you have this sense that, oh my God, my life is purposeful. I don't have to think anymore, because I think a lot of us wake up having to think and we get stressed out. We feel this burnout because I don't want to think of what I have to do. If somebody just tells me what to do, I can do it, but I don't know what to do. Well, you've already thought that out today. Nobody has to tell you what to do. You've already told yourself. So guys, this is your chance for questions, Q&A. In the world of Zoom, just speak up. What questions do you have?
Do you use any specific colors when you time block? Like, what's your reasoning behind the colors? What's your color theory?
Yeah, green is money-making activities, lead generation and booking appointments. In other words, listing appointments, buyers. I used green. I'll use blue for any activity that's indicative of my family or Debbie's family. You could use family activities, could be blue. Things that are necessary but don't have to be done by you, leveraged, yellow. So in other words, administration, anything administrative that makes it on your list that has to get done, but it doesn't have to be you. If you have access to a TC, an administrative assistant or something, you're on a team or you have your own, you can outsource it, yellow. That means I don't have to do it. It has to get done. It just doesn't have to be done by me, right? And you can do whatever you want, but I think for me, the most important was green, which is the money-making activities. Anything that you feel is a money-making activity, which for me was appointments and lead gen. Those are money-making activities, was green. Do you know what my wife says? Green is like the favorite color for a woman because money goes with everything they wear. Right? And women love accessories. Oh my God, forget clothes. I've got some giggles. We've got some people owning up here. Women love, my wife loves accessories. That means shoes and pocketbooks, earrings, all that stuff. Oh my God. She's got boots from college 40 years ago that she hasn't worn in 40 years. Honey, throw them away, give them away. They're taking up room in the closet. No, they're sentimental. What's sentimental about them? My dad bought me for them. Throw them away. So what questions do you have? Yeah.
I don't have a question right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Who do you share your calendar with?
Great question. You could share it with your wife, your spouse, anybody on your team. You can use, I do not use Calendly. I have mine on paper, kind of old fashioned that way, but it does make more sense to have people have access. So Calendly. So Heather goes in the office, she pick up my paper calendar, she'll write in stuff in there. Bethany will take my calendar. They have permission to go in and just go on my calendar, see when I'm free. If they need time, they put their names in there. So if you do it electronically, it is easier. It does make more sense. I've just been fighting it. I don't know why. I just got to let it go.
I made the move.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a paper person, but I just signed up. I'm just thinking right now, I'm going to go get Remarkable. Does anybody have a Remarkable yet? Does anybody know what Remarkable is? Okay. So Remarkable is a notebook, which will take the place of all the notes you're taking. Because my biggest thing, if you go in my office, I have 5 or 6 different yellow legal pads, and I leave the one in the training room, one downstairs. I leave them all over the place. So it's a notebook that you can have with or without email or connectivity to the cloud, so that no distractions, right? But it can hook up somehow. It syncs up, I guess, by Wi-Fi. It can sync up to your laptop and your cell phone. So any notes that I have on a Remarkable, I can look for my phone when I'm in a different location. So it can have all my notes, and it turns notes into PDFs, handwritten notes. It turns into PDFs in computer print, and you can erase and all kinds of cool stuff. So technology, I'm easing into it. So what questions do we have on Zoom, guys? You have any Zoom questions? No questions? All right, we can't call it a day until we have one question from Zoom. I'm going to hold everybody hostage. Come on, who's going to be brave enough?
I don't have a question. What I do have is advice. Tell your wife to take a picture of what she wants to keep and then donate it to the homeless coalition.
Yes, I agree.
Take the picture, you still have a sentimental to look at.
You know what she does? She says she wants everything. She wants everything. She doesn't want to get rid. She's a hoarder. She
And my
hoards.
new way of hoarding is take pictures. I got a lot of them.
Yeah, the picture will. I love. I'm the person, I have a general rule in my household. If it hasn't been used in 30, it goes in the garbage.
Yeah, me too.
You haven't used a toaster in 30 days, get rid of it. I don't want it. 30 days, haven't want it, get rid of it. I don't like clutter. I don't like being boxed in, claustrophobic, whatever. My wife wants to save things for 40. I can tell you things she's got from when she's like, she's 55. She's got things for over 40 years she's saving. Why, I don't know. That's just my wife.
It blocks new blessings.
And I tell her, listen, get rid of the old, we'll get some new stuff in here, right? Maybe that'll work.
Yeah, that's what I think.
What other questions do you have online, on Zoom?
All right, I
love
have one. Okay, so I don't have my license yet. I don't know, is everybody licensed?
Pretty much, but it's
so
okay.
my question is, if you could go back in time to when you were studying for the state exam, if there was any to do differently, what would it be? What advice can you guys give me?
For the state exam or starting off my real estate career?
Yeah, like after you pass the exam and have your license, like starting out.
I'll give you my advice and then I'll open it up to whatever else, anybody else wants to give advice. My best advice to you was that you don't sell real estate for a living, you're a professional lead generator. If you don't get that into your brain today, you'll be unemployed in 6 months or less with no commissions. 75% of everybody getting their license in the next 12 months leaves the industry. They don't leave the brokerage. They leave the industry because they refuse to do the things that make them feel uncomfortable, alias lead generate. So you've got to learn to speak to strangers, family members, people you do know, people you don't know, people you're about to know, and you need to speak about real estate. And the sooner you adapt that as a mindset, the sooner you'll have your first commission. That's my advice. Now, what advice would you guys give?
Call your phone.
Call
your phone.
Call everybody on your phone.
Everybody on your phone.
With no exceptions, no call bias. That means
No
including ex-boyfriends, girlfriends, spouses, or whatever. Everybody means everybody.
Pushing it. All right.
Everybody means everybody. There are no exceptions. Everybody lives in a house. We don't live in teepees. Everybody needs housing needs. The person you refuse to call because you have a call bias is the person that's going to buy a house and use somebody else because you didn't ask. And I can't think of any better way to get even with an ex than make a commission on something that they purchased. That's
I was thinking. I like the way you think on that one. All right, thank you.
welcome. What other questions do we have? Guys, I'm always going to be honest with you. I think if you know me, you know that I'm true. I'm very transparent. I don't hide my feelings. So what other questions do you have? In person, anybody here have a question? Did you have a good time today?
I did.
Do you have a lot to think about? Change some of your systems, best practices, time block your appointments a year in advance and then fill them in. I'm hoping that's one of the things you took away from today. With that being said, take some water. Everybody drive safe and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. What time do you usually go to bed at night?
That's a tough question. So anywhere from 9:30 to 12 o'clock. It depends. Last night I watched the Yankee game, so I was on till about 10:45. After that, I went to bed, probably 10:45. I'm not a television fan. I will watch something on streaming, so I'd rather go sit in the backyard. I have a big fire pit in my backyard and sit out there. It's not too hot out. And just have a good conversation, a glass of wine with my wife. I can stay up till all hours of the night. If the conversation, if she's tired and we're inside watching television, 9:30, 10 o'clock. But I wake up at 5:30 every day. On Saturdays and Sundays, I'm up at 5:30.
Oh, yeah,
My wife, she's like, how do you wake up? I wake up, my body just wakes up.
Yeah, it's used
Yeah, And then I'll go to bed at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the weekends, and I wake up at 5:30.
Oh, wow.
So it doesn't change because I went to bed later.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that, because usually by 6:30, 7 o'clock, I'm on my dock fishing, which is whatever. So I love to fish.
Yeah.
Do you?
I asked you because you have a lot of energy. You don't look tired at
No,
all.
I'm not tired.
Younger people wake up at that same time and you can see them, they can very,
They're not
keep their
focused on
eyes
the right
open.
things.
Yeah.
Let's just put they're not focused on the right things.
Yeah,
Because
true.
if you train if your programming says, I need 8 hours of sleep or I'm gonna be tired, your brain hears, I need 8 hours of sleep or I'm gonna be tired. You sleep 6 hours, your brain says you're tired.
Yeah, of course.
So now you act tired.
Yeah, your body follows your brain.
I go to bed 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I wake up 5:30, 6 o'clock the latest. And then I tell myself I feel great. And guess what my brain is? You feel great. So what do I look? I feel great.
Yeah.
I'm energetic.
Yeah. That's great. Great example to follow.
It's all perception.